Yes, I have Dave Rubin. He's host of the Rubin Report. It's a pleasure to have you on the show and have you in studio in particular. You know Andy Ngo?
I do know him personally. Yeah.
And I don't know if you've talked to him, but I did see Sam Harris tweeted this, that making light of the attack of Andy Ngo, that basically people that do that have no idea what this level of incivility and intolerance can cost us in the long run.
Yeah, so I've texted with Andy a couple times from the hospital. He is out now and he's doing okay, but obviously there'll be some follow-ups medically. Look, there are fascists running around the streets of Portland, but it's not Andy Ngo, and it's not the people trying to report on these people. It's the people that are known as the anti-fascists. It's Antifa, these people that put on masks and attack people and silence people using violence. These are the fascists. And Ted Wheeler, I mean, this guy, I truly can't even imagine being more of an embarrassment as a public elected official. I mean, he's the head of the police. Why are those people not all arrested? We've got plenty of video on this. I also think it's sort of interesting that even in the framing of this, that Andy's being portrayed as a conservative or as someone on the right, as if that somehow slightly excuses it. He must kind of be a bad guy because he's conservative or on the right. I know him well. I don't even know him to be on the right. What he isn't, though, he's not just a woke progressive. So he's not just a far lefty. And in the strange political times that we live in now, that automatically makes you a conservative or someone on the right or anything like that. Also, of course, you know, this happened to happen during Gay Pride Month. Andy happens to be gay. He's also Asian. Those are two minority points that he's supposed to get, according to the left. But because he doesn't fall into their...
If you're considered conservative, you
you lose those points real
right.
quick. So I mean, really, if you think about it, when the Jussie Smollett thing happened, you know, AOC and Schumer and Pelosi and Booker and the rest of the candidates,
the entire cast of Empire, was like coming to his defense.
Yeah, but think about the Democratic politicians though that said this is an example of what a racist, homophobic country America is. Some of them still have their tweets up. Kristen Gillibrand, her tweets about it are still up. Yet Andy, who's a double minority, if that's the game that you want to be played, he gets attacked and absolute silence.
It's not a game I want to play, but it's a game that, you know, so I listen to you podcast, 1.5 speed as I walk a little bit faster. How
am I doing at that speed?
You're pretty good, actually.
Okay.
I can do Ben Shapiro at 1.5 speed.
Oh,
but yours is a little bit easier at the time. But one of the things that you come back to over and over again, and I'm curious about this, is the big tech. And the connection between you and others that are lean right and end up finding yourselves frustrated about being either targeted or demonetized on platforms on which you've built businesses. Yeah,
so there's been a whole bunch of talk about this. Last week, Project Veritas did a bunch of exposés with some behind-the-scenes videos of leakers and whistleblowers talking about the way that they're suppressing video. I had an hour and a half off-the-record conversation with Susan Wojcicki, who's the YouTube CEO. You know, I've got 1 million subscribers on there. I give them a show that's, I'd like to think, as nicely produced as this one. And, you know, it took
a lot of content.
It took me about 5 years to get just as much as an email address out of them.
Why do you think it took them that long? Because I used to do crisis communications for a living.
Yeah.
Why would it take them 5 years to get to you? Is it that they didn't think it was a problem?
You know, it's interesting because I really try not to impugn people's motives. However, as time goes by, if you keep seeing people that lean, it's not just conservatives. I mean, that's what I think your audience really needs to understand. It's anyone that takes any slightly right position. It's the most marginal libertarian position that they come after.
Like the New York Times piece that connected you with...
they're connecting us to the far right, which is hilarious because if you read the piece, which was the front page of the Sunday New York Times, the premise of the piece is that a bunch of YouTubers are leading people to the far right, but that the guy that they use as the example in this becomes a lefty at the end. So... You know, the New York Times has sort of failed on this. CNN has failed on this.
But YouTube
and what we want is fairness
and
transparency. They've at least gotten back to me, and we'll see what happens from there.
Well, if you don't already follow Dave Rubin, I'm sure most of you do. But if you don't, certainly do that. Check it out. It's very thought-provoking, and it's good to walk to as well.
At 1.5 speed, you must be walking fast.
I walk a little fast. All right. Thank you for being here.
Thanks, Dana.